Hi everybody, if you're new here, my name is Paige. I'm a travel occupational therapist and I am posting on this channel to kind of just share my experience of being a new grad travel therapist. I just went straight into travel therapy, and so I'm just kind of sharing my knowledge and what I've learned along the way on this channel. Today I'm just going to hit on a few differences between travel therapy and permanent OT, which are some of the reasons why I chose travel therapy. First and foremost, one of the main reasons I chose to go the travel therapy route is you get more flexibility in your experience. So you will be able to experience multiple settings, whereas if you just jump straight into permanent therapy out of grad school, you are kind of just that's your only experience at, let's say, outpatient peds. Now, your only experience is in outpatient peds. If you want to switch it up, it might be a little bit more intimidating to switch up, or it might even be hard to find an employer who's willing to hire you with no experience in a new field, let's say inpatient rehab. So that's definitely one of the positives, I think, of travel therapy, that you are gaining experience in multiple settings. That reason and this reason are the top two reasons why I went travel therapy. Number two is your flexibility of time off. So there's not typically any PTO. You can request time off. Usually your recruiter will ask you if there's any time off you already know of for like vacations or whatever that are already planned before you even interview or sign for a contract. So that stuff is usually approved because these people that are hiring need somebody. So like if you need a couple days off here and there, they probably don't care. But PTO is not really a thing, unfortunately or fortunately. But at the end of your contract, there's nobody saying you have to jump right into your next one. You can literally take as much time off as you want. Granted, then you get into the pool of like keeping benefits. So if you do need to keep benefits, then there is certain time frames you have to get back into working to be able to keep the benefits from the company you're working with. But for the most part, the flexibility of having time off in between assignments is huge. You can take off as much time as you want. You can work 6 months out of the year and then 6 other months do whatever you want. Travel, stay at home mom, whatever you want. That is the other huge reason that I chose travel. Next, which I think is a huge one, is weekly pay. Weekly pay really helps me budget and pay off expenses faster. I don't know if there's any science behind that. I don't know if it just feels like I'm getting more. I mean, typically as a travel therapist, you are making more money, but the weekly pay really makes it feel like even more, and it makes me feel like I'm able to save a lot more and again start paying off like, my student loans and stuff like that a lot faster. So the weekly pay is definitely a bonus, whereas in a permanent position it's usually bi-weekly or twice a month, kind of depending on where you're at. Next one is that you get to experience living in different states that you may not have ever thought of living in. Personally, in my experience, I never really had the desire to visit West Coast. I'm a Midwest girl through and through, and West Coast just really was never like something I really was super interested in. But now I've lived in California, and I can confirm I don't want to live there permanently. But so now I've had a chance to live there, and it was awesome. It was a great time. I met people that I would have never met otherwise, and people I'm still friends with to this day. I had a chance to live in Missouri, and so you just really have a chance to live and experience other states that you may not have otherwise ever have gone to. Whereas, with a permanent position, you're likely in your hometown or somewhere you've been already or one of your field works. So like you do get to still travel if you take PTO and all that stuff, but I feel like the experiences are really hard to beat. And last but not least, one of the big differences between travel therapy and permanent OT is the pay. So you will always hear people saying how travel therapists or travel healthcare in general get paid so much, and that's possible because of a stipend. I can make a whole other video going into detail on how the pay works, but you get a housing and a food stipend every week that is untaxed. And so that is typically where the majority of the money is coming from. And because it's untaxed is how you can make so much. Whereas, you know, permanent position, everything's taxed. You're having benefits taken out, everything. So you don't get quite as much take-home money. Although there's plenty more differences between travel OT and permanent OT than just those 5 things, those are the 5 things that kind of helped convince me to stay in travel OT and kind of made me fall in love with it even more. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. Comment below any questions you have about travel therapy and what you want to see next.